I am a Disney adult and I am proud of it. I have genuinely mastered the trick that is called Disneyland. I am, in fact, a magic key pass holder. Yep, I have gone to Disneyland already like what 3 or 4 times this year. I am an addict. I am a Disney adult. I am not the stereotype of a Disney adult. Like I think the stereotype is more so like I won't get into that. Let's just say that I'm not the stereotype. Okay, like I think I'm a little bit different. I love the way that Disneyland feels in terms of the magic and like yes, it's the happiest place on earth. Like I feel like I could be having a terrible day at Disneyland, but I still leave it and I'm still satisfied. You know what I mean? Like I can still be happy. And the reason that I have said officially I have mastered Disneyland is because just yesterday, at least in the time of recording this, I went to Disneyland with my sister, her friends, and Marissa. And I had been watching a lot of videos, a lot of TikToks leading up to this point because I knew that I was going to be the lightning lane person. And I loved this job, by the way. Like this is a self-proclaimed job. Like I didn't tell anyone else like to do it. Like I wanted to do this. I've always been this person ever since I started going to Disneyland and saw how the lightning lane started working. I have been freaking locked in. And after watching a bunch of TikToks leading up to this, I was like, holy cannoli, I need to do all the freaking things. Okay. So first things first, rope drop. Oh my gosh. Do you even know what that means? Okay. So rope drop is basically when Disneyland opens, you can enter the park, but you can't actually go into the different parts of the park that have the actual rides. So, for example, once you enter Disneyland, there's this giant entrance and it's basically just a bunch of stores and little shops and whatever. And then you see the castle in front of you, and to your left is Frontier slash Adventureland, and then to your right is Tomorrowland. But going into that area, it is roped off, right? So they rope it off, and then at exactly 8 in the morning, they drop the rope. So you can go into the park before 8 in the morning, but starting at 8, they drop that rope, and you can freaking start fast walking to the next ride. You can't sprint, no running allowed, but you can start fast walking to to the ride that you want to go. So of course, I did make a mistake. I'm gonna be honest. I did make a mistake because with all the videos that I had been watching, I had seen that if you rope drop, none of the lines for the rides are longer than what 10, 15 minutes because you're there super early. Like not everyone does a rope drop. Well, I did it wrong because the first thing I wanted to do was to go on Space Mountain, and I figured, hey, like I'm just not gonna book a lightning lane pass for this because I just figured I'm gonna freaking be there pretty early on and whatever. Like we were already there, and I'm looking at my phone and I'm like considering like should I book a lightning lane for this or should I not? So instead, what I did is I booked a lightning lane for Indiana Jones because Indiana Jones has it always freaking goes down. Like I'm literally just telling you guys a bunch of random facts about Disneyland, but like that ride always breaks down. It is so freaking annoying, but it's kind of funny at the time, like when you're actually in it. When you're trying to go into it and it breaks down, then that's when it's annoying. But I booked I think it was like 9:30 p.m. lightning lane for Indiana Jones, or not p.m. Sorry, 9:30 a.m. Sorry, that would be crazy. 9:30 a.m. for Indiana Jones, which is also crazy because like it's 8 in the morning as we're walking to Space Mountain. But I don't know, like for me, that was that like I figured that we could do other things in between and like still make it work. So I was like, yeah, this is totally and completely chill. But here's the new strategy, right? You book a lightning lane, and then as you're like waiting in line or doing whatever to go on to the next line, you refresh the lightning lane thing and you can modify your plans. And if you keep refreshing, there is a chance that you will get an earlier time. And that is exactly what happened. I literally was able to get it for like 8:45 or something like that, which is not bad because we're standing in line for Space Mountain, and this is where I was saying like I made a mistake. I didn't book it for Space Mountain. We ended up going on the regular line, and it was out the freaking door. Like there was no physical door, but like in terms of like the entrance to the line, we couldn't even enter the line because it was freaking pouring out, and I had never seen it like that. I've never seen the line go so far out of an entrance like that, and I was like, what the freak is going on? Like I figured maybe it was just people like were trying to funnel into the line, and it was just taking some time. But holy moly, we genuinely waited in that line for like 30 or 40 minutes. Like, and I was like, what the heck? I thought that as soon as the park opened, the lines should be pretty short. But no, not Space Mountain. I mean, Space Mountain is my favorite ride, so it makes sense. It's probably a lot of people's favorite ride, so they wanted to start off with that. So anyway, we started off with that, and that was the longest line that we waited in. So I'm kind of like disappointed. Like, shoot, had I planned it out a little better, we could have maybe skipped that a bit. But it's okay because it gave me time to refresh everything that I needed to do in order to get Indiana Jones earlier. And then before going to Indiana Jones, I saw that Mickey's Runaway Railway, which is honestly very quickly becoming one of my favorite rides besides Space Mountain. It was only a 5-minute wait time, so I was like, shoot, like the Toontown area is closer to Space Mountain than if we were to go to all the way to Indiana Jones and then all the way back. So we went to that one as well. We were able to do a bunch of stuff and then go to Indiana Jones, which, by the way, Indiana Jones was hilarious because, yes, it did kind of slightly shut down halfway through. It was kind of funny. It was literally like a 2-second pause, but it was long enough that I could notice it. No one else could notice it. Like, at least my sister and her friends couldn't notice it. But, like, I was able to notice it. I think Marissa was able to notice it, and it was just funny because like we know that it shut down for those very short 2 seconds, but I don't know. It's really got this stigma. It just genuinely can't stop breaking down. So that was freaking awesome. But anyway, back to the like freaking booking a lightning lane and then modifying it. Like holy moly, that is the genuine tech. I had never done that before. What I would do in the past is I would just refresh the lightning lane list to see if I could get something as early as possible, but unfortunately nothing ever actually would come up sooner than that. But the reason that this is better is because you book whatever you want to book as soon as possible, and then modifying it has a higher chance of like showing you when that it's changing to an earlier time, because, or at least you have a higher chance of seeing it, rather not like it doesn't actually show you, or it doesn't actually have a higher chance of showing you something different. But in terms of it's easier to find, it's because it's at the freaking top of your list when you're like refreshing, so it's a lot easier to see these things. Anyway, I am totally nerding out about this. I'll just keep talking about the actual experience at Disney. We got there at like what, 7:30, 7:45, like I don't know. We definitely didn't make like super early rope drop because we were in a giant crowd, but we were there pretty early on, all the way until like 7:30 p.m. So we were there for like 12 hours. And we did, in fact, do just around 13 rides. And that's not including the silly little, I don't know if you guys have ever seen TikToks of this, but there's this theater in California Adventure, and you can like have like a little Q&A session with the turtle from Nemo. Oh my god, he was freaking hilarious. That was genuinely like one of the funniest things I've ever experienced. We just sat in a theater with kids asking this freaking turtle a bunch of questions, and it was so funny. We were there for like what, 15-20 minutes, and like I don't think I've ever laughed so hard before. I actually shed 2 tears during that because I was crying so much. It was so funny. Just as an example, like the turtle would be like, oh, does the audience have any questions? And like some little kid would finally get the little microphone, and they'd be like, did you know that we eat turtles? And the way that his face just changed, and everyone in the audience just does like the most cartoon gasp I've ever heard. It was just so funny. Like, that was literally the first question, by the way. So that really set the tone for the rest of this performance. It was so freaking good. And of course, you may be thinking, okay, what, 13 rides in 12 hours? Like, that's 1 ride per hour. You must have been waiting in crazy lines. Well, no. This is actually my first time going through Disneyland and actually trying different foods and stopping for snacks, stopping for drinks. I got the freaking blue milk from the Star Wars area. I've never tried it before. It was just okay, by the way. But, like, you know, it was an experience. Like, we actually had time to sit down and, I don't know, just look around at people, eat, and like actually bond. My sister streamed, which was really funny. Like we just had a really good time, and we did genuinely pretty much all of the rides that we wanted to do and more. We actually tried the Monsters Inc. ride. We've never done it before. It was also just okay. But then we actually did the Toy Story Mania ride, and that one we got really lucky in doing because we were actually supposed to do Goofy Sky School. I feel like I sound like a goober as I'm saying all the names of these rides, by the way. But like, we were supposed to do Goofy Sky School, but it shut down temporarily because it like just broke. And I had a lightning lane pass for it. So because my lightning lane pass was about to expire for this ride, I was actually able to redeem it for a completely different ride, which was the Toy Story Mania, which is such a huge W, by the way, because Toy Story Mania was the only lightning lane that I couldn't book at all, because Toy Story Mania was always so full. The line was always like 40 to 50 minutes long. An option never, ever, ever came up for a lightning lane. So that was actually super clutch that Goofy Sky School low-key went down because we were able to do that. It was a fun little competition against my sister. Toy Story Mania is basically just like, you know, those sort of game modes where you have to like use a little toy gun and like shoot at things and whatever. My sister was actually beating me majority of it until the final round where I was able to get the lead. Anyway, all of that to say that I'm so happy with the way that I was able to lead everyone through everything. Like, that was actually my biggest thing as well, is being able to be like a good leader of this. Like, people would genuinely pay thousands of dollars for a VIP experience, and I feel like I was able to do that for my group basically for free. Like, they obviously they paid me back for food, but they paid me back a little bit extra because they were like, you did so good. But like, they didn't have to do that. I didn't ask that from them. But it's just really funny. Like, oh my gosh, I absolutely cooked. I'm like so proud of how everything unfolded. And I'm just really happy with all the new things that I tried. Like, oh my gosh, I freaking love Disney, bro. I just got the strats, man. It's so much fun. I genuinely lock in. Sure, my phone almost died like 2 times, but it was such an important thing to do for me, at least, and I just had so much fun with it. And I guess the other thing that I was going to mention as well is like, it was so important for me to have this role of like trying to make everyone else's lives easier, because my sister and her friends, like, they have like corporate jobs, they have like full-on lives. One of her friends actually is a mother, you know, like she even told us like she had never been to a Disney without a child, which is crazy to me. So I would just wanted to make sure that I gave them the most magical experience and just like were able to walk around, have fun. I did kind of rush them a lot. I'd be like, guys, we need to step it up a little bit. We need to walk a little bit faster. But that's just because I'm a fast walker. At least in Disneyland I am. I'm normally a really slow walker. But yeah, I'm so proud. I'm just so proud. That's it. I'm a Disney adult. I get it. You guys can make fun of me all you want. I really don't care. I fully embrace it. I know what I am. But yeah, I guess if any of you are going to Disneyland Anaheim at any point, just let me know, because like I'll give you the best tips. Actually, don't let me know, because I probably won't respond. But I would absolutely love to give more tips if you guys need to. I mean, I gave you all the tips already. Just like literally book a lightning lane and then modify it and then find something better. It's that simple. But anyway, yeah, I love Disney and I want to go back already. I literally we got back yesterday. It hasn't even been 24 hours since we got back home and I already want to go back. Like, I am insane. I'm insane. I'm crazy.